Hi, my name is Ryan Majorado. I'm a second year student here at De Anza and I'm majoring in business administration. And this is my essay about Wicked. So it is titled Making Our Own Road. In the film Wicked, directed by John Chu, the experiences of Elphaba reflect the idea that the yellow brick road is not for everybody, because sometimes you have to pave your own path forward in order to achieve the future you want to create. When Elphaba, a young woman in Oz, is sent to Shiz University and begins her journey, she quickly learns that she can't navigate this unfamiliar environment without facing some inherent biases. Due to her skin color, a greenish tint assumed to be from elixir her mother had drank, Elphaba struggles to fit in and is immediately judged by the people around her. Through these many struggles and realizations that Elphaba faces, though, Chu conveys the concept that a traditional, straightforward path is not for everyone, such as when she is ostracized at Shiz for being different, when she discovers the wizard's corruption and refuses to conform, and when she ultimately chooses to rise above Oz's expectations during the Defying Gravity climax. Elphaba's treatment at Shiz University demonstrates how trying to fit into one predetermined path becomes complicated when that path was never built for someone like you to begin with. When Elphaba first arrives on the campus at Shiz, she immediately becomes the center of attention while students gasp and scream in shock at the sight of her green skin. As Elphaba continues to walk around them, the students take a couple steps back out of fear, abhorrent looks across each and every single one of their faces as they quietly whisper to each other in disbelief. When Galinda finally steps up to confront Elphaba about her green skin color, she exclaims, "It's my intention to major in sorcery, so if at some point you wanted to address the problem, perhaps I could help." This moment at Shiz supports Chu's claim because it shows that Elphaba is never given a fair chance to walk the yellow brick road that everyone else follows. By treating Elphaba's green color as nothing more than a problem, alongside the immediate visceral reaction from students that only makes things worse, the film reveals an implicit value in Oz that rewards people who fit the norm while simultaneously pushing away those who do not. Galinda's comment about addressing the problem as if Elphaba's skin was something that needed to be fixed shows a prescriptive assumption for who she is and what she looks like. This scene becomes a clear metaphor for the predetermined path Oz expects everyone to follow, acting as a critique of paths built on conformity as opposed to highlighting what makes every individual unique and special in their own right. It's also meant to serve as a reminder why it's important to forge your own road ahead instead of unconsciously following the one laid out for you. Elphaba's confrontation with the wizard reflects her strong sense of moral clarity, proving that she consistently prioritizes what is right, even when doing so may threaten her own future. When Elphaba finally meets the wizard, she believes that he might be able to help her use her powers for good, as well as help the animals who are slowly losing their ability to speak. To her surprise, though, she eventually discovers that the wizard is actually the one responsible for silencing the animals. After casting the spell that gave the monkeys wings through an extremely painful process, Elphaba hears the wizard subtly mention how they'll be perfect spies in the skies for him now, where she realizes it's you, you're behind all of this. You're the reason people are turning against animals. It's all because of you. While the Wizard of Oz claims that this will benefit everybody, Elphaba included, she doesn't see these actions as morally just while watching the animals suffer with her own two eyes, so she decides to stand up to the wizard and protect those who cannot defend themselves. Through this verbal action of hers, Elphaba supports Chu's claim that the traditional yellow brick road, a path built on obedience, silence, and conformity, doesn't lead to positive outcomes. Instead, you must enact your own agency and stand up for what is right, even if doing so goes against the norms that you're expected to follow. Elphaba reflects her determination to create her own path when she chooses to rise above Oz's expectations during the Defying Gravity climax, a moment that proves she is finally ready to define her life for herself. After Elphaba discovers the full extent to which the wizard has corrupted Oz, Glinda urges her to stay and follow the wizard's rules. Instead of giving in, though, Elphaba decides to step forward and begins to embrace her own power. As the guards attempt to chase her down, Elphaba uses her broomstick to fly, lifting herself above everyone else as she sings, "Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rule of someone else's game." Elphaba's words in this song, as well as her flying off the ground, are meant to symbolize how she's broken free and created a new path for herself. She's no longer stuck on her standard yellow brick road, but rather rose above all the constraints Oz tried to place on her to discover who she's truly meant to be. Through this powerful scene, Elphaba supports Chu's claim that the yellow brick road is not for everyone, showing that standing up for what you believe in is essential to shaping a better world. Throughout the film Wicked, Elphaba not only challenges the expectations placed upon her, but she also proves through her actions that the traditional yellow brick road is not meant for everyone. Through her experiences at Shiz, her refusal to support the wizard's corruption, and her decision to rise above Oz during the Defying Gravity climax, Elphaba shows that creating your own path is sometimes the only way to live with integrity. By the time Elphaba embraces her own power, it becomes clear that her journey supports John Chu's claim and that sometimes we must become our own wizard in order to make the world that we want. And that's my essay. Reflect on how your final essay shows your writing and your critical thinking strengths and challenges. So, as far as my strengths go in this essay, I think I had a very clear thesis here that was very strong. Very good organization as well. And then also smooth transitions between the different paragraphs. I felt like I worded those nicely, and it was very smooth all in all. I used detailed examples from the film, taking direct quotes for every paragraph to use as evidence. And then I also backed it up with good analysis, in my opinion, to prove John Chu's main point overall with when he said that sometimes you have to follow your own path. State what grade you believe you have earned. I think I have earned an A. I have met all of the requirements in the rubric. I looked through that intensively. And I also feel like my essay goes above and beyond in regards to, evidence, analysis, everything. So I feel like I've earned an A on this. State what grade, reflect on your overall experience this quarter. I feel like I had a good experience in this quarter. One of my favorite assignments was just the discussions every week. I feel like that was kind of nice to connect my experiences to the films themselves, and I liked doing that, and also seeing other people's experiences and discussing that with them and responses. What assignments? Oh, there was one assignment. It was the first chapter from the textbook, the 1 through 6, that I ended up losing 10% on. Because I did something stupid, which, kind of annoying to put so much effort into that one assignment and then you just make some silly, stupid mistake that just ends up losing you 10%, but it is what it is, I guess. I ended up fixing it for the next assignment when we did the chapters 7 through 13, so I learned from it, and I feel like I got something out of that. And yeah, as far as conclude how I've developed as a student this quarter, I feel like I've developed pretty well. In a lot of my other English classes, you never hear, oh, you're being too wordy. They always love when you're wordy, oh, big words, big sentences, nice and long. You're using strong vocabulary words. And, that's what I was always encouraged to do. Never be efficient, always be more wordy. At least that was my takeaway most of the time. And so it was nice to have a professor who kind of pushed the opposite and made me see, okay, hold on, efficiency is much more important here too. Alongside, obviously, big vocabulary words and whatnot, but being too wordy, just overly wordy, is not good. And so thank you for helping me see that, because that is not something that has come up a lot in my other English courses. And I feel like I learned so much, especially in regards to that this quarter. But yeah, overall, I had a great experience too. It wasn't just that, but yeah, I had a good time in this class. Thank you. And I will be done with my recording now.